things, and he went to the drugstore and shot everybody, and now things have changed. They don't really want to give you too many meds, you know, for you know, guys with the back and knees and what have you. You know, it's really regulated now. But I didn't get into that anyway, so. But it worked for me, and I'm happy about it. And that's it, man. You know, I mean, and they, like you said, they look at the MRI and say, well, this guy's the same way, but he don't complain as much or whatever. But you know what? One of the things that bring it on, which I never really thought about, is actually stress. You know, that's why these guys that don't do physical work, they sitting at a computer during the day, which is either, but they just they say the stress could give you back pain, and that's 100% true, because I notice when I'm under a lot of pressure, like for, you know, on the job, and if it's going on for a week, 2, 3 weeks, and you know, I just don't, you know, it's just, I don't know why, but it bothers me, and I notice that I have back pain. Weirdest thing. But so, knock on wood, I'm good lately. And the only other thing I had shoulder problems. That's my newest. And I had a shot for that like a couple of weeks ago, and that's coming around now. And I for the life of me, I don't know why that happened, but you know, I did fall down, and I heard it, but I was up in about 2 minutes, and everything was good, and then I reached for something after that fall, and that's when pop, you know, rotary cup. Pretty sure, you know, and he agreed. I went to the same guy. He agreed. He said, "Oh yeah." He goes, "The way you're describing it, that's, you know, we'll try a shot, you know." But really, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if the shot really helped me, or it's just the time, the lapse of time for healing that helped me. Because it is getting better, and it's like every day it gets better and better, and hopefully it goes away 100%. That's what I'm looking for. Because I can't sleep. I still can't really sleep on the shoulder. You know, sleeping on the side. That side I can't do it no more. In fact, in the beginning it was so bad I couldn't sleep at all. You know, it would just annoy me no matter what. Just like the back. So I know what your wife is going through. My wife, same thing, back. She's had numerous shots. So, but she's good in the last 3 months, so knock on wood. But also, guys, I got the dinner bell, so I'm not going to hang in there, and it's been fine chatting with you. So, Brett, N2DTS and, let's see, that's Perry. Well, you guys keep it rolling, and maybe I'll stop in after dinner. Catch you later.
N1VIV.
Joe, what are you doing on now? I barely hear you at this time. Good evening. I'll spin it up to you here in a second. 7-3, Rich. Enjoy dinner, and hopefully we'll hear you on after the dinner bell stops ringing, and you're nice and full. So yeah, I guess I technically haven't quit smoking, but I quit smoking cigarettes. Okay, so I did do that. And the juice that I use, Brett, is 60% vegetable glycerin and 40% propylene glycol. Not ethylene glycol, which is antifreeze. It's propylene glycol. And there was a little while back where they were people were getting admitted to the hospital for vaping, and everybody thought it was nicotine-based vaping products, but it wasn't. It was counterfeit THC cartridges and vaping products. for the THC in it. People were making them, and selling them on the street. And when you break down the THC to extract it from the plants, from the flowers, you have to use different chemicals to do that. And they use like butane to extract the THC and the oil and from everything from it. So a lot of guys in their garages and in their homes use butane, and there's butane in the concentrate, and then they mix that with whatever they're mixing it with to break it down so it absorbs into the oil. Then they put it into these big fake vape cartridges, and that was basically poisoning people in their lungs, like Agent Orange, basically. So they said, but there was a big scare, and a lot of people thought it was from nicotine products, but it's not. It was from those counterfeit things. They haven't found anything wrong with the stuff I use yet. So it's still relatively new. It's like it's less than 10 years old. So they still got a long ways to go on it. And as far as back problems, my back gets stiff when I stand in one place for too long. My lower back starts to really kill me. And if I get down, like kneel down to do something, like change a tire or get on my knees to work on something, my lower back it's excruciating how my lower back feels. But I've never went and got it checked out or anything, so never had a shot, never had, anything except for ibuprofen and Tylenol. So up to you, Joe. Good evening, and send it down to Brett, N2DTS, N1VIV from W3MMR.
W2SDR.
Okay, W2SDR in there. This is W3MMR. Excuse me. And N2DTS. This is N1VIV. Good evening, Perry. Trying to see how all this is working. I've made some changes here, and hopefully it's making the trip and sounding okay. We'll have to keep an eye on things, but so far it looks like it's going okay. So the name here is Joe, Juliet, Oscar Echo. I know I think it's Brett, but I'm not sure. I may have folks' names crossed up here, and of course Perry, I'm acquainted with you down there, and I think it's in Pennsylvania, W3MMR. Very good. So, busy day today, but I was getting in here to do a little testing and hoping to be spending a little more time here on HF. I think I've got this arrangement kind of sorted out. So let's send it down to, oh my gosh. I think that's your dad, Perry. But I'm drawing a blank on his name. That's terrible. Or I might be wrong there, but let's spin it around. W2SDR. This is N1VIV.
N1VIV in the group. W2SDR's. And I wonder how you guys are doing tonight. I told Perry I'd get on briefly here with my D-104, so that's what I'm using, a D-104 on my Yaesu FT-101 fridge. So probably sounds a lot different than I usually do on this rig, but it's just different. Anyway, I'll keep it moving here in N2DTS in the group W2SDR.
Hello, Frank. Hello, Joe. W2SDR, N1VIV, W3MMR from N2DTS. Yeah, you sound quite different, Frank, but not bad. Pretty good. I like the D-104 sound. And hello, Joe. And Harry, yeah, well, as far as the vaping thing goes, you know, I would wonder what's in that stuff. Like, how do you know what's actually what you're getting? You know, it's bad enough with cigarettes where they put, I didn't know, but they put all kinds of stuff in them. I always wondered, like, I was always curious when I smoked that, like, every pack of Marlboros tasted just like every other pack of Marlboros, and it's like, how do they get that consistency in the tobacco? And then I read that, you know, they add and do all kinds of stuff to it. So, yeah. But anyway, yeah, that stuff was pretty nasty. It was quite a rash of that, and I knew they were going to jump on the bandwagon. You know, you got to ban that stuff. You gotta ban it. Well, I mean, if you're buying stuff, you don't know what it is. It's not inspected or certified or tested or measured or anything in any way by anybody. Who knows what you're getting? So, yeah, it was real nice out today. I did some yard work, trimming stuff, and did a lot of antenna work on the fan dipole. I got things dialed in fairly closely on most of the bands. I got a little motorcycle ride in. Tomorrow is dirt riding in the Pinelands with a bunch of people from work. There's going to be like 3 or 4 of us out there bouncing off the pine tree, so that'll be cool. Let's be a really nice day tomorrow also. So, back to you there, Perry. W3MMR and the group from N2DTS.
Group W3MMR. Real good. Well, good evening, Joe. Good evening, Pop. And yeah, Joe, that's Francis. The D-104. The D-104 sounds good. I think it sounds really good. It's of course different from what I'm used to hearing. I'm used to hearing that deep melodious audio. Real full-bodied audio coming out of all your rigs, but that thing sounds, it sounds super clean. It sounds really, really good. I like it. So, 2 thumbs up, Pop. And good evening, Joe. Good to hear you. I think this is definitely the first time that we've worked at this time of night, or anywhere other than on the carrier net on Sundays or tomorrow. So, really good to hear you. And you sound great down here, Joe, and everybody's got really good signals. The band's up and down a little bit of QSB, but it's getting to be that time. So with that being said, I'll keep it short. And Brett, yeah, I guess you don't know what you're getting. So that's why I try to order from reputable sources and companies that have been around for a while, and from businesses that are well known. I pay extra to get stuff at a reputable place, a little bit extra than I could get it for, but I always use the same stuff and go with the same stuff. And you gotta be, I don't know, there's a lot of local smoke shops and stuff and stores that make it, around the area, but I go with more of a national brand. But so far everything's been fine. But of course I need to, one day stop smoking completely. But until then, I guess it's better than smoking cigarettes. So up to you, Joe. N1VIV in the group from W3MMR.
Smoke a little smoke. KB3RHR.
Okay, KB3RHR. KB3RHR. Very good. Well, thanks, Perry. You sounded very good here as well. And good evening to you, Frank. I apologize for not recalling your name. I think it's because I had an association with your prior call sign. But I've got actually my son's down here in the shack, as well as the family cat. I don't know. Yeah, she's a troublemaker, that's for sure. And in any case, yeah, I popped in here this evening because I'm just working on kind of reestablishing this transmitter lineup. I've got the homebrew transmitter, and I was able to get some work done on this amplifier, and I just got it back today. I took a chance on this guy who had some decent reviews and then some questionable reviews, but so far, so good. Seems to be, yeah, it's not exploding, my son said. That's a good thing, for sure. So, well, my son's heading out of the shack. Make sure the cat's all the way upstairs, thanks. Okay. The cat likes to roam around the boiler room and chase mice, which is good, but then sometimes she gets all tangled up with stuff around the boiler that she gets all filthy, and then you don't want to have to give a cat a bath. That's just, it's just not something you want to do. Yeah, Frank, I noticed that I remember the FT-101 sounding very good on AM. It sounds very good now, just a little bit more articulated audio. I remember your audio previously being very full, especially in the bass and lower mid-ranges. So it sounds like a really good D-104 to me. And you're making it just fine here, that's for sure. And I think it's Brett there. I apologize. I don't know that I've talked with you before. Brett, my name is Joe, and I'm in southeastern Connecticut. So let's send it over to the breaking station, I guess, and then it would go back over to N2DTS, I think, is where it would go after that. I'll stay in here for at least one more, and then I might need to jump out, but I'm going to stay for a little while anyway here, and certainly nice to be on 75 this time of the evening. And it looks like this thing's working, so I'm happy with that. KB3RHR. Over to you, sir. This is N1VIV.
That was a triple. I didn't catch all of it. I caught you, Perry. I'll take it. Well, hello, Joe. It never worked. N1VIV, KB3RHR. The name's Craig. I'm located down in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I just heard Perry. I had to comment. I caught the end of Brent and caught Perry. I'm going to smoke the real stuff pretty soon. I just want to get that out on the air. 17 years old, I enlisted in the military. Never got to do anything like that. Came out, 26. Went to college. Didn't do it there because I applied myself and then got into industry. I'll tell you what, when I retire, I'll be like Cheech and Chong over here. KB3RHR, go ahead, Brett.
Yeah, I just had I switched over to my D-104. I just had a quick question for Joe. What the transmitter is?
Oh yeah, very good, Brett. The transmitter is a homebrew transmitter. It's kind of a very small project. It's a single 6146, and plate of that is modulated by a Hammond audio transformer that's I'm pushing my audio chain through a solid state amplifier into the Hammond audio transformer, and it's modulating the plate of the 6146, and it makes about 12-13 watts that I'm using to drive an AL572 Meritron amplifier. Right now I'm making about 130 watts. So that's the story here. The audio chain is, it's all just kind of affordable stuff. Behringer B1, a little Behringer mixer, and a compressor limiter, a little Behringer compressor limiter. All that going into the solid state audio amp that then goes in the Hammond audio transformer. modulating the plate of the 6146. And it's crystal control. If you're interested, you could see a little picture of it on my QRZ page if you were curious. Back to you, Brett.
Okay, yeah, I did see that. I looked at that. That's really, really cool. I really love, working guys that are doing something a little different. Really, really cool. And that's a very attractive looking transmitter. So that is really cool. And of course, it works really well. It sounds excellent. Despite the fact that you don't have multiple pieces of $1,000 professional audio processing gear hooked up to it, it's pretty amazing. Oh, okay, no cool. Yeah, really cool. And Frank, the FT-101, that's the old one, right? Not the new one. Well, the new one is FT-DX, I think, 101 something or another. Yeah, that's working well. Hello, Craig. And Harry's probably out smoking his propylene glycol. I don't know if it's propylene glycol. Propylene sounds like plastic. I don't know. W3, I think it goes to Frank. Doesn't Dad, he gets a turn too, right? I don't know where he is in the rotation. I'll turn it over to him. W2SDR in the group from N2DTS on the screen modulated transmitter with the D-104.
Okay, that sounds good, Brett. W2SDR here. And I couldn't tell the difference really on this HQ160 anyway between that and your other microphone. Anyway, yeah, this is my original KC2CWM that I had since it was new. You know, the old 101E in the 70s. And I turned up my mic gain a little bit. This, of course, there's no processing at all. This is just a stock D-104, so I don't have any compression. I don't have anything like that, so you just have to, operate the mic gain. But I have to be very careful. This rig has got easily 150% positive. It pins the modulation meter on the LP700. It really has a lot of forward drive. And I do have to make sure my amplifier is tuned up properly for the peaks. I could only run about 250 watts of carrier, and still it shoots occasionally over the legal limit. So, not that anybody pays attention to that anymore. People put out as much power as they have. That's just the way it is today. So, anyway, I'm not going to stay in here. Group's big, so I'm going to sign out. I'll make this one my final. Thanks for letting me in, guys. Have a great night, and look for you tomorrow, perhaps. So let me turn it to Perry. And he may get it next. I'm not keeping track here too well. W3MMR in the group. W2SDR. I'll listen out here.
Yeah, it sounds phenomenal. I mean, really. It sounds so natural. It really sounds exactly like you, and that's, I don't know if that's a good thing. No, I'm just kidding, man. It sounds really good. And I'm making a recording, so you'll hear it, and you're a good 35 over here. I'm dealing with a little bit of line noise, but you can hear it's well over that. So great to hear you, Pop, and we'll probably catch you in the morning. I'm sure. Or I'll probably talk to you via text in a little bit, I'm sure. So, anyway, the Phillies won today. They came back in the 8th inning against the Detroit Tigers to score 5 runs in the 8th inning. They were down 5-3 and came back. It was 8-5 there. So, oh wow! It actually, look at that. It ended up in a tie, 8-8. How about that? So anyway, it was the first spring training game. Obviously, I'm a very big baseball fan. It's pretty much all I watch on television is MLB Network, and following the off-season stuff and all that sports stuff there. But I'm not like that with any other sport, just baseball. Because baseball, there's so much involved in baseball, there's so many numbers, there's so many stats, and it's America's pastime. It's the best game out there, hardest game to play. And Brett, I couldn't really, if you didn't tell me that you switched microphones, I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. Not at all. So, it sounds great as well. And hello, Craig. Yeah, Craig, I have about another year, 8 months or so. They're changing the policies at work, and because of the state we live in here, and they're changing the policies at work. So I'm not going to be drug tested come the new fiscal year, which would be October. So when that time comes, I'm not bashful about it, I'm going to go get my prescription card and go right to the, right to relaxation. Because I don't drink. I'm not a drinker, And so that's the story on that. And Joe, that is a beautiful little transmitter. I wonder, is that similar to Bob Heil's Pine Board transmitter? I never looked at the schematics or anything for that, but I was thinking about building that just for the hell of it. I know a lot of people have. So anyway, over to you, Joe, and then it goes up to Craig, back to Brett, and then to moi. 7-3 Pop and N1VIV in the group W3MMR.
Yeah, very good, Terry. W3MMR. Touching things up here a bit. There looks. Yeah, it's about 140 watts there, so we'll see how that does. W3MMR in the group. N1VIV. Well, that's interesting. I'm not directly acquainted with Bob Heil's Pine Board transmitter, but I suspect that it probably has some similarities. So the way this concept came about, I guess it was probably about 12 years ago. You guys might be acquainted. I don't think Stu spends a lot of time on the air now, but years ago, certainly Frank would remember Stu, KB2EZ. He had done a basic experiment with this concept that I have kind of in place here, where he took an Amico AC1 transmitter, like basically a novice CW transmitter, and lashed up a Hammond audio transformer to it, and modulated it, with some decent audio, and it worked, and it was like, oh, that sounds kind of interesting. So I was at the Nearfest, Hamfest. This was probably around, let me think now, maybe around 2005 or 2006. And I walked up to this one table, and on the table was just this little power transformer, which you see in the back row of this transmitter now in that picture, and a 1959 ARRL handbook. They were both sitting on the table. The transformer was probably like $5, and handbook was like $5 or something. I said, I was just randomly kind of just, I'm just going to grab this. I don't know what it was. Eventually, it turned out that that transformer became, the transformer for this homebrew. And the ARRL handbook had a novice 6146 transmitter in there. So basically I took the basic design of that 6146 novice CW transmitter and Stu, basically from the engineering standpoint, made all the changes to kind of make it, a little less, not like full power what you would get out of a 6146, because I was only going to use it as a drive transmitter, so it was only, get it down to where it was making like 10 or 15 watts, like really, right where you want it, so to speak. And then from there, added the Hammond audio transformer, which was, an expense, but not outrageous. And it just kind of all came together. And, the one thing I will say about this project when I built it, I had to resist every impulse along the way, because I do tend to be a person who will rush and maybe take shortcuts and, maybe not always do the cleanest work, so to speak. And when I built this transmitter, I was like, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to be meticulous about every single step. I don't care if it takes me a couple of months to kind of get it to a point where it prototype, every hole that I cut in the chassis, the placement of the components, I really stopped and thought all that out. That really scared the shit out of me. Thank you, Hampton. Yeah, that was really helpful. You guys probably heard the cat. The cat just made another appearance. My son scared the hell out of me, and he got a good laugh out of it. Good for him. In any case, I really paid a lot of attention to the layout and all that stuff, and so I like the result. It is a kind of a nice little classic-looking transmitter. So it's a lot of fun, and it seems to be it's working. So I'm thrilled about that. Let's send it down to Craig. I'll stay for one more at least. I know Frank, I think, jumped out of here. Oh, and I was just going to say, Perry, I really admire your passion on baseball. I'm a huge baseball fan as well. I don't watch as much as maybe I used to a few years ago. And of course, there's a lot of controversy going on right now with the Astros and the Red Sox and all that foolishness. But I guess video replay has brought that upon the game in a way that probably we could have done without, I guess, in my opinion. But there's pluses and minuses to all of it, I guess. But I still really enjoy analyzing and thinking about the game of baseball and watching it and actually going to games. I used to go to Fenway quite a bit. Not a lot recently, but in years past, quite a bit. So, and hopefully in years future. So down out to Craig there in Pittsburgh, I think it is. KB3RHR. This is N1VIV.
Yeah, I didn't have it right at first. N1VIV. Okay, band's changing. I can already see that, so keep it short. Hello, Brent. Goodbye, Frank. Sorry, I missed you. I didn't even know you were in there, Frank. Hello, Perry. Just getting home here. Getting settled in. Yeah, man, I'll be doing the same thing, Perry. I saw too many good things come out of it. From my dad going through cancer, and some of the friends I have that are retired guys that have Parkinson's and stuff. So yeah, I'll do the same thing, man. Never dreamed it. I was even on the border and I caught 14 groups of people with it. Never dreamed it, but it has purposes, that's for sure. So, what else is going on? Brent, I heard you say you're going motorcycle riding. It was nice today here. It was chilly and 50. But man, not a cloud in the sky here in southwestern PA. So, kind of actually did feel like spring a little bit. People were out, I noticed, doing things. So, it's not far around the corner. I don't figure. And now, Perry, that was the other thing I was going to tell you guys. Shoot, I was going into town. We went to dinner, and the minor league baseball team was having a game in the big park here, which I thought was kind of early, but they were out there playing. There was actually a few people in the stands, so I don't know. That's crazy. It would have been a beautiful day for that, that's for sure. So we're almost out of the woods. N2DTS to take it. This is KB3RHR.
group from N2DTS. Not much of a baseball fan, but that's cool. It's a good game. Sure beats golf to watch, anyway. But that was really nice here. I got out early into the yard and did a lot of trimming on the fan dipole, up and down. I took out the little MFJ antenna analyzer and played around and got things in the ballpark. So I'm in the ballpark on 160. I'm smack on 80 meters on 3885. And 40 meters is pretty close. It's pretty cool on tuning, so that's cool. 20 meters a little bit. Like yesterday, I went down to like 2 to 1. I don't know why. I guess it's unbalanced. And the same thing with 10 meters is a little bit off. So, but who cares? Yeah, boy, I haven't heard Stu on in a long time. I don't know if he's capable of operating or what. He had a real marginal setup in an apartment or something in Kingston with an attic antenna. Well, an antenna that wasn't even in the attic, it was in the same room. So I don't know if he gave up or he just lost interest or exactly what, but he used to have a lot of interesting stuff that he used to work on. And the pine board rig, that's not really, I don't think it's really very good sounding. It works, but I think it's not high class. So it's pretty cool. You could build it, sparks a lot of interest, and so on. So we like all the homebrew projects, all the kits. The new 075 is actually pretty good, and that can be made a lot better easily just by running a good microphone into a 5-watt carrier output, 100% modulation, very efficient, has a receiver built in, it doesn't sound bad until it overloads, but it can't have everything. So that was pretty cool. And they go to West Oregon. So I really just got right to the weeds, so to speak. I'm looking forward to checking it out for back pain and stiffness and so on. For medicinal purposes, I don't know what the legal situation is. I don't know how that works because theoretically it stays in your system or bloodstream or something for weeks. So it's not like they can pull you over and breathalyze you or, how would they know when you smoked it, whether you smoked it a week ago or, one the weekend, or I don't know how that works out, but we'll look into that at some point. I don't know anybody that has it, so we'll turn it back over to Perry. W3MMR in the group, and congratulations on the cool setup there, Joe. Really cool to run into a homebrew. So over to you there, Perry. W3MMR in the group, N2DTS.
Sorry. N2DTS W3MMR. Oh, real good, Brett. I'm starting to lose you, Brett. You really started to fall. Joe, you were starting to bounce up and down, and a lot of QSB on your signal, and Brett, you started to fade out to just above my noise, but I switched on the W2SDR, and you're very strong into Massachusetts, so probably stick in here for one more if you guys want to, or maybe sign on this one because of the band. I don't know. It's up to you guys. But Craig, I take CBD right now. There's this store, a vitamin shop up the road that sells CBD, like hemp in flower form. It looks like marijuana buds, like regular pot buds, but there's no THC. It's all CBD, and I think it's below like 0.3 of 1%. THC in each little jar or whatever. So there's none in there. I couldn't get any lower. So I do get that occasionally, and that works. It's nice and relaxing. Just kind of mellows you out. You don't get stoned, or anything like that. You just it relaxes you. I don't know any other way to describe it. But relaxing. And what else was I going to say? Joe, yeah, kudos on the homebrew transmitter. It looks beautiful. I went on your QRZ page. I've seen it before. I just never put two and two together, I guess. Or never read your damn profile, because all I had this. I always saw the picture. Because every time I enter you in my electronic log, your QRZ picture pops up. Every time I enter someone in my log, so whatever picture you got on there, every time I log you, it pops up. I get to see it. So, and I'm over here looking at partial season ticket plans. The guy at work, one of the owners, we were talking today. He wants to go in on me and him are probably going to go in on a season ticket package, a partial season ticket package for the Phillies games. And I was just checking out, how many you get: 6, 12. You get 17 games, 17 pairs of tickets. That's like $1,000 or something. So split between two of us. I mean, to me, that's worth it. It's a heck of a lot cheaper than getting one ticket at the game in a decent section there. So I can have an excuse to keep going to games. Anyway, we'll, I guess, hang around if you guys are leaving. If the band's going to crap, then we'll figure it out from there. But I'll say 73 in case we are. If not, up to you, Craig. W3MMR. Or no, it goes to Joe. I'm sorry, it goes to Joe, then to Craig.
Yeah, no problem. W3MMR, got it. W3MMR. N1VIV. Well, thanks very much all the way around on the comments on the transmitter.
Boy, it was a fun project.
It was, I think I built this thing like 10 or 12 years ago, so it's been a little while. It was off the air for quite a while. The troubles I was having with amplifiers and this and that, but it seemed to be somewhat squared away now. Yeah, conditions are really changing, but I do appreciate all the comments there. Thank you very much. And Perry, I'm wondering, how close are you to Philly? Like, to drive in for a game, what's that like for you? Is that more than like 45 minutes or an hour? Oh, man, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great. I'm in southeastern Connecticut here, so to go see a Red Sox game. Oh, I saw a Red Sox and Phillies game a few years back at Fenway. That was quite good. And there was a little bit of a rivalry there between those teams. But that's great that you can, 15, 20 minutes, whatever, even with traffic, you're You're down to the game. You got to figure out parking. You got to do a little bit of walking, I imagine, that kind of thing. But all that's part of the fun. So that's great. I have not ever spent a lot of time in Philadelphia. Last year, or actually a little more than a year ago, we were looking at schools for my oldest son, who's now at Boston University in Boston. But one of the schools he was really looking at was Drexel. And boy, we really enjoyed. That probably would have been his second choice. Boston University accepted an early decision, which was excellent, and that was exactly where he wanted to be. And there's no qualms about that. But Drexel had a lot to offer in the biomedical biochemistry field, and so that might have been where he went. And I really liked that campus. We knocked around Philly for a couple of days. Rode the train down. It was pretty enjoyable. So, yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. I almost wonder if it would be worth riding the train down and catching a game. It's a pretty long train ride, but still, could be a lot of fun to go down. You know, when they do one of those interleague games, I think the Phillies and Red Sox often play each other. So, yeah, that's very good. Excellent. And yeah, I can tell conditions are really flipping around here, and I do need to go out this evening for a commitment. Very good on all the relaxation strategies there. Yeah, I guess all I'll say is I certainly have no objection to folks partaking in a variety of different things of that nature. For me, personally, I had an enormous amount of trouble with that in my teenage and early adulthood. And so by the time I reached about 23, 24 years old, I had to put it all down, like just 100%. And so that's kind of how I roll today. But I don't have any objections about folks doing what they want. There's no trouble with that on my book. It's just nothing that I can really partake in. I had too much fun early on, and I've got to behave myself now. That's just the way it is. But it's a really good thing. Unbelievable blessings in life because of it. So very fortunate, very lucky indeed. Let's send it on to Craig. And I will listen out, but I've got to run in about 10 minutes, and it won't make it back to me, I don't think. And conditions are really slipping away here, so I think. I hear a lot of QSB going on here. So let me get it back to Craig, and I'll just listen out, guys. You have a wonderful evening all the way around. KB3RHR, there in Pittsburgh. Back to you there, Craig. This is N1VIV 73 from Stony.
Okay, Joe, amazing. You dropped all the way out and came right back up and dropped all the way out again. So that was the warning call. That was the light flicker that the stage is now about to be exited, I think. So good to hear you. You sound good here in Pittsburgh when you're up. Brent, they're hair sampling now. You can go back 3 months. It just started not too long ago. 3 months on a hair sample. So there you go. But all I can tell you is from experience, it was all against it my entire life. Of course, I was a biker later in life, so I saw more than that. But was just kind of against it. And then, a lot of people I knew did it. And I just, I'm cool, I'm good. And then when my dad went through his thing, with the cancer, I saw what it did, so can't be bad if it's making you feel okay when you're in that kind of position. So I have no problems with it anymore. And the only thing I worry about, Perry, if you can hear me, if you get that card, that means you can never own a weapon. Because that's the first thing. That's one of the questions on the ATF segment. And I'm sure when they cross-reference that, they're going to see you have a card. I wonder where that's gone. And Brent, same with you. So until somebody comes out with that test, or somebody wins a lawsuit. Only then will it change, I think. And believe me, I think that's not too far out. I think there will be a lawsuit somewhere where somebody says, yeah, I was on vacation last week and I took a little toke and it's been 4 weeks. You know, and obviously I'm not under any kind of an influence when I'm at work, so I think that's what it's going to have to be. Somebody's going to have to file a massive lawsuit, and we'll see what happens from there. But that's my take on it, boys. I'm going to drink my coffee and sit here and listen, because everybody's fading in and out. I don't know if you are, Brent, but everybody else is. This is KB3RHR. Go ahead.
WA1 Henry, yell out.
Oh, there goes the frequency. WA1HLR. Hello, Tim. Turn it over in a minute. Harry was getting down in the noise level. Joe is pretty strapping, and you're still quite strong. Here in southern New Jersey there, Craig, and Tim was okay. Well, I had a lot of friends who really were into that when I was younger, and they were all lazy, never got anything done kind of guys. And the ones that are really into it never did much of anything. No ambition whatsoever. And I never really enjoyed it. So, but as medicinal things, I didn't know that there was any kind of tie-in with owning a gun. Of course, you can own a lot of guns and don't need any kind of. You know, my father left me a whole pile of guns, and I could have just kept them, but I sold them eventually. It's an expensive hobby, and I didn't need another expensive hobby, so. And they're dangerous to have around. I just had a story. Somebody fell asleep, and a kid got the gun and like a 6-year-old or something, and shot himself and killed himself. I think over in Philadelphia over the weekend. So it's very risky having guns in the house. Maybe the guy was smoking pot and fell asleep, and I don't know. But anyway, over to you there, Tim. Tim's fired up his weapon. WA1HLR in the group, 73s to Joe with the cool homebrew. And Frank, I don't know if you're hearing me. You're quite low. So over to you there, Tim. WA1HLR with KB3RHR and W3MMR from N2DTS.
Okay. You're noticeably better copy on the 160 dipole than the array. Which tells me that the band may be going along. I was still hearing Joe N1VIV quite well. I've been kind of listening in and multitasking, doing other things around here. Yep. Well, as far as the old marijuana or pot is concerned, I started getting high about the time I got into ham radio. 17 years old. And I've been smoking weed ever since, although I would say within the last year I've cut down quite a bit. It's so every once in a while I have a couple of hits and takes the dull edge off of things, but other than that, not like the old days. Yeah. Not like the old days. As far as guns are concerned, I've got a couple, Never had to use them, but the way the rules are here, maybe if somebody forces their way in your house for an invasion, you got the right to blow, and I would. No questions asked. I'll not say, well, what are you doing here? I just point fire, And there's been a few home invasions that have been thwarted because the perpetrator got nailed because the homeowner had a gun. So that sends a message out to, those would-be perpetrators of that type of activity that they might get let's think better of it. Yeah, I wanted to comment on the pine board transmitter. I saw that, in fact, when I was down at the league, there was the sample of how built and sent in. So I looked the thing over. The design is fraught with issues. There's no way it can make full 100% modulation. The other thing is, what he's using is a Heising chip. It's way too small in inductance, and therefore, the low end is kind of strangled. I know there's other things that can be done with the lower level audio stages. I heard people say they made some changes. Being that it's essentially a single-ended modulator, rather than use a small filter reactor, they use a small power transformer, something that's like, say, 500 volt center tap that, say, 50 amps, somehow put the center tap to the B plus the modulator to one side of the high voltage secondary, the other side of the high voltage secondary, wired the series with 115 volt primary. And that goes to the modulating stage. So what you get is a modulation auto-transformer that will allow the modulator tube to make enough power to easily modulate the carrier quite fully. Especially with a pissweaker, you've got to have modulation. If you don't have modulation, you're lost. And I know the transmitter has to be built out of readily available stuff, so that's what you do. Use of a power transformer. The other thing is power transformers were not designed to handle unbalanced DC. Now, if you look at it from the aspect of being that the power supply voltage is fed into the center tap, you have DC current flow to either side of the primary. So in theory, what I'm using is the primary, the secondary voltage readings. You can easily set it up so that the current draw of the modulator and that of the final cancel each other out, and you get tremendous frequency response. The other thing is typically the positive peak at the grid of the modulator tube becomes the positive peak of the modulated waveform, and it's basically what I've done with my Globe Scout Deluxe. Got a mod transformer in there. So instead of a 6V6 as a modulator tube, I would use a single 6L6. And that's how I would do it for pine board. So anyway, enough of that. I'm just going to sit by here. I don't know what conditions are. For all I know, I may be talking to myself. Craig, you're doing very well. KB3RHR from W1.
still in here. Yeah, no, I just want to jump here and say bye. I'm going to get out of here. Timmy, you were pretty strong at first, and then all of a sudden you went away to nothing. The band must be going super long. You're in a weird place, because usually right after it goes long, and for a little while, you're usually very strapping down here, especially on the array, so I'm probably not doing that well up there at the moment. And so 7-3 to Joe. Great to hear you, Joe. If you're still listening, we'll catch you tomorrow morning on the AM carrier net on 3835 at 8 a.m. shop. And we're going to go smoke some CBD and watch TV. That's what we're going to do, so this is kind of early. 7:30. I'm usually in bed by 8:30, so it's time to wind down. 7-3, guys. Great to hear you. Back over to you, Craig. And Craig, you were still doing quite well here as well. So 7-3, guys. KB3RHR in the group from W3MMR. 7-3.
Okay, Perry. Yeah, same thing here. Tim broke in there. He was loud, and then all of a sudden, when he made his transmission, I didn't hear anything. So, okay, boys, I'm going to get out of here. Maybe come back later and see what's happening. But, Brett, tell Tim I said hello. Hope he's doing okay. And I'll leave it to you two. N2DTS, KB3RHR, Pittsburgh. Listening and going for coffee.
Yeah, do you hear me now, Craig?
There, Perry, if you can hear me, and fine business there at Craig. Yeah, it's probably time for another cup of tea, hot tea. Oh, I'm shocked that you partake. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here as well. I think we're going to catch a movie, and apparently I'm running amok in the cable TV equipment. 73s, guys. It's been a pleasure from N2DTS. Over to you there, Tim. Not really any better.
All right, Craig, are you still there?
Yeah, I hear you weak. You're pissed weak, but I hear you, pal. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Boy, the band must really be going away. All right. Well, I should have gotten in here earlier, but I didn't. Anyway, catch you guys later. Have a high fine business kind of night. This WA1H, go on.